Pastor Jeff.
Good evening, my brother.
Do you miss football already? Because I do.
I ain't watched it in a while, so
Maybe I'm more of a.
You're definitely more of a fan than I am.
I mean,
I'm a Browns fan. When the Browns is over,
really?
It's almost.
Man, I am a high school, college, especially the college. For some reason, the college is really.
And then I'm like, I only know two Patriot fans in the world. And one of them happens to be Mo.
Mo's a Patriot.
And the other one is my girl Sherelle from Youngstown. It's like, I got almost every jersey in the NFL. I don't have a Patriots jersey. I'm like, who likes the Patriots?
Well, they gained a lot of bandwagon fans during the Brady era.
Yeah.
And to their credit, they did have a fairly swift revival.
Yes, they did.
It does not normally happen like that when you have the kind of coach upheaval,
right.
Core of the team upheaval. I mean, that's the kind of revival that the Steelers can only dream about. Seeing as how we've been in a 15-year slump or something like that, or mediocrity, not winning, but mediocre. But yeah, I mean, because there's just something about that's comfort food to me is football.
Football.
It's just like comfort food to me, especially now. Now, I'm aggravated by the streaming stuff with sports. And I'm starting to watch that with basketball now because the kids, they like the basketball more. And I'm like, dog, if I got to download one more thing to watch a basketball game, But at a certain point, you have football on every single day of the week for like 10 weeks, maybe more. And I mean, Monday Night Football, Tuesday night have like the sorry teams, like the random college teams, and Wednesday and Thursday, again, these random MAC, D3 teams. I just love just like background noise for me. You know what I mean? And so now it's like the world is getting quieter. I'm not that into the NBA.
My schedule is so
doesn't even allow it.
Yeah, it will allow it, but it's if I'm at home, I'm like literally trying to spend time with the kids and the wife. You know what I mean? I'm trying because I'm gone so much. Whether
I forget them kids.
Work, church, doing something for action, whatever it is. It's like I don't have.
You do have that business.
Like I don't.
I'm busy, but more like by choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have more obligatory stuff that's really come down the pike for you. So I get it. I get
home. It's like my wife's like, "You want to watch this stupid Lifetime movie?" I'm like, sure. Let's watch.
Nah.
Let's watch.
I'll be telling Shamika no. Between that and Martin reruns, no. How many times I have to watch Bruh Man?
Love the bar.
And Shanae, from the fourth floor. And she loves it. I mean, Shamika is a very nostalgic person, especially for the 90s. She loves the 90s. Pastor, hey, what's up, Rashad? Good to see you. Come on and tap in, y'all. We know we got on late, but it is what it is. Y'all already know. We actually had a service tonight, so I had the obligations tonight, and Pastor Jeff has some family obligations. But we're here. We pressed our way.
We did.
We pressed our way
Sunday
for y'all.
night service.
So y'all got to come on into the room and join us. Sunday, 20 minutes is pretty good. 20, 25 minutes is pretty good for Sunday night service to start late back in the day.
Is it? Hey, did you hear about my boy Lamont? I don't even know. I don't think it's his real name. But Fred Sanford's son.
Yeah, man. Rip the Grady.
Damon Wilson.
Damon Wilson.
Yeah.
Rip, man. I mean, and that was slightly before my time, but by the time I came along, we were on straight reruns all the time in the house. So again, it goes back to the comforts of your childhood in a way. It's like you were just used to, he's like your distant uncles.
He became a minister and I'm just like, I just didn't see him at that age.
We don't like to see people getting old, man. And we forget they're getting old out of the public eye.
Yeah.
And we keep seeing these same pictures of them that are only so old, but they didn't got super old. Lady from Home Alone.
I thought he passed already.
Yes.
You thought who passed? Lamont?
Yeah.
You thought he was gone?
You thought he was what?
I thought he
thought he was
already.
with the ancestors.
I see it on Facebook. I'm like, again?
Not again. Well, and that's what makes it hard, Facebook and social media, because you keep seeing the same deaths for like 4 years. And they'll be like, so-and-so just, I'm like, nah, they've been dead, man. What are you talking about?
Right.
I mean, City 48 been dead. He didn't just die.
Right. Tupac just died.
AI videos about him dying and stuff now. I mean, that's been tough. The Home Alone mom died.
Man, that was crazy too.
I mean,
She was a good actress.
she was far
actress.
more than Home Alone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She was a great actress. It's been that time, man. It's just, they say that cold weather, man. That snap take you, white and black, brother. It take you out. Did you go see the world premiere of Melania? Did you take your church on a church bus? Senior ministry trip.
Please, I'm still trying to fathom the picture of Barack and Michelle in the yellow suits.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Give it up for the greatest
The
president.
greatest president of all time. Of all time. Well, before we move on, I got to give an early show shout out to my boy Ethan, who once again, I got to give him props. They won their basketball league championship, the Warren Youth Basketball League.
Yes, sir.
I had to go to the semifinal, and they were winning by a large margin for the semifinal. And because of the snow, they had to do the final right after, like 20 minutes after from last week. And so I had to leave and go to deacon ordination. Congratulations to Deacon Wilson Stoudemire, Second Baptist.
Yes.
So I'm there watching my phone, and I remembered my dad is the only one there with his flip phone, so he's not sending me no texts. So I kept saying to the church, y'all know I'm a father, I'm away from my boy to walk in that door because I told Dad to drop him off. And, I see if he has a medal around his neck. So right when we was at benediction, Ethan slips in the back door, sits in the way in the back with the ushers. And I just stopped before I did the minute and said, did we win or what? And he pulled the medal out of his shirt like a boss.
Yeah.
Like a boss. But shout out to all the kids and youth and the coaches and the overactive parents that act like it's the end of the world, like they playing for the ship, somebody's making money. Just proud of my boy for all that he's doing.
Absolutely.
So the snow shut us down, the last couple of weeks, man. I mean, churches, the South's getting hit.
That snow ain't no. Somebody posted it was just supposed to spend a night.
Right, yeah. It wasn't supposed to move in. I mean, my friends in Tennessee, North South Carolina, I mean, they're back 2 weeks of virtual services. We came back, Doc. This is Ohio.
Yeah.
We plowed that snow. We ain't missing more than 1 week of ties. I'm telling you that right now. We ain't missing. Listen,
not at all.
We know we got online giving and all, but it's just.
I told him we take back ties. Not back taxes. We take back ties.
You in arrears. You are delinquent. We go. Oh man,
it was good to see. I know you talked about your boy. It's good. My son got up today and done his little, because we allow some of the kids to do some Black History stuff. My son just so crazy to see because he got that deep voice. It
doesn't
and
mess
I got
you
the
up.
high voice.
Right.
Good evening, everyone. What?
Quiet Storm Christian.
Get your Barry Manilow, Barry White.
I'm gonna start calling him Quiet Storm Christian, Secret Guard in Stanford.
Good evening, everyone.
Right. So what was his fact?
Well, he actually talked about, he gave voice to everybody who didn't have a voice. So he talked about all those who were murdered over the last couple years.
Wow.
He talked about, remembering, if you don't remember your past, it'll catch up to you.
I got you.
So,
that's a good talk. Well, shout out Christian, man. He's making it happen. All our kids making us proud.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We love to see it, man. So let's see. Don Lemon got out of jail. They arrested Don Lemon for being a reporter.
That's nuts.
I mean, are we Nazis yet or what? I mean, what is...
Listen, this cat.
Nah, what did he do? He would have interrupted a church service.
He did not interrupt the church service.
Okay.
He reported on the people
Gotcha.
interrupting the church service.
Gotcha.
So he did not go in until the event started.
Right.
Which, regardless of what you think about that, and I have mixed feelings about the limits of when and how you should protest. And I do believe, whether it is white, black, conservative, liberal, whatever, I have a hard stop with that. First of all, because I just believe churches are sacred spaces. And I won't say that a church is not a church because the pastor is affiliated with MAGA or ICE or whatever. I'm not going to say that. And I can see if you were just straight KKK headquarters or something like that. And there's people out there like that are straight white supremacists or whatever. But, okay, he's a super conservative evangelical who has a position. You know how many people go to church somewhere or a leader in a church somewhere who hold the exact same opinions that he does. I mean, so I thought the entire protest, let's go protest the church, is wrong.
Yeah.
I have said that when black people have gone into black churches. I don't know if you remember this from like Detroit or Chicago, basically trying to call out the preachers for not serving the community, and they went in there and caused a fuss, and it was like some militant black guys, Pan-African, this, that, the other.
Step in second if you want.
Bruh, and I mean, again, you don't have to like these people. You could think they're exploitative. You could think they take up too many offerings or whatever. It's just a tale as old as time. But Don, being the reporter that he is, and there were 4 others, all 5 were black,
blacks. Mm-hmm.
and they were all arrested by federal agents after the requests for warrants were denied by judges who said this does not meet the criteria. And so no matter where you are on the political spectrum, I mean, how far are you going to go with just doing this extrajudicial? I mean, I preached about lynchings today, which unfortunately is not terribly far away because it's extrajudicial, it's mob, it's outside of the bounds of normal protocol and process of our legal system, which is already unfair and biased against us. And then you just have mobs, the sheriff like, see ya, But to me, that just speaks so much regardless. So it's like at this point, there's no right answer. Like nobody's right. But put it this way, nobody's right, but some people are more wrong.
There you go. That's a great way to put it.
It's not right to go into a church for the sake of a protest for that particular issue, because I understand how passionate and visceral the issue is. But it's even worse to wield the federal government to arrest journalists. This is the exact same thing that we claim we are freeing other countries from.
Right, exactly.
And I bet you those other leaders are like, what are you bombing me for? You got some journalists, I got some journalists.
Hey, Glenn, to your point, I'm done with her. It's funny because y'all knowing, if y'all watch my Facebook, I work out hard every day.
Yesterday, you're looking good, man. Let me just give you some props.
Yesterday, I'm working out, and my phone was almost dying when I went down there, so I plugged it up so it wasn't near me on the thing. So I'm working out, I'm getting my run on, and I cannot, and y'all can call me non-Christian or not, I cannot work out to gospel music. I just can't. So I got my little workout list going on.
It's like trying to have sex to gospel music. Do it. Shouldn't do it.
And Nicki Minaj comes on.
Oh no!
I stopped the treadmill.
This is not worth my weight.
Got up and deleted the song off the playlist.
This is not worth my health.
It was that, if I could have this moment for life. And I used to love that song, man. I would get me hyped. It's Drake and Nicki. I deleted it.
I don't know it. At least this pastor's saved. But yeah, I mean, Nicki Minaj is lost in the sauce. But there's always one, man. There's every year there's a new one. It's Kanye.
Well, I mean,
Herschel
I
Walker,
have heard that Nicki needed
the gold card.
Yeah, the gold
she paid
card.
For
and then her brother is in jail and he's trying to. But I mean, I still don't think it's worth all of that.
My brother can stay in jail. I got to cozy up to Trump.
Right.
Nah. Sorry, I'll catch you at the next election.
But the last thing I want to mention before we move on,
is
did you see that the new Trump Center, Kennedy Center, is shut down for 2 years?
Yeah, they don't have any acts.
Ain't nobody going. He's saying it's under renovations. Nah, bruh, ain't nobody booking your Jones.
Nobody's booking, man. You can only have Kid Rock so much. You can only have Kid Rock and George Strait, or
Leonard Skinner.
You could only have them so much.
I don't know about them.
I don't know. I know Kid Rock.
I know about Leonard Skinner, man. I was out there in Southington for a while, man.
I ain't hip to him.
Oh man, Sweet Home Alabama, man.
I like Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they had a plane crash. See, you know how I know about these from the VH1.
Because he watched that one idiot George Carlin.
No, Norm Macdonald is his name.
Same person.
But no, that's not why. He jokes about Steely Dan. But But I used to watch those VH1 Behind the Musics all the time after school.
Okay.
You just learn about all these bands.
Tiffany watched that stuff.
Yeah, you used to learn about all these bands back in the day. You would never know, if you didn't have that. Which is why our kids are so uncultured now, because they don't get to get exposed. But yeah, man. I mean, and when you're ultra conservative trying to take over the arts, which is basically liberals and LGBTQ people. Right. It ain't gonna work, bro. Or people who are supportive of those things. Absolutely. And that's just a practicality. I'm not talking about your morals about it, your beliefs about it. I mean, you just gotta have some sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody's been canceling this stuff. They try to sue them for canceling and all this. I mean, Hamilton canceled. I mean, they're losing like major productions.
Good.
So,
Good.
Yeah, good.
Matter of fact, they ought to take all their productions over to the African American Museum.
Listen. Go to black theaters, and spaces and places where people, don't get that experience and can't get to Kennedy Center. So, I mean, we're going to, here's the crazy thing, just to end on this note. We're going to be the ones that have to get our country back when this is all over. You know how many names are going to have to be peeled off of walls and how many signs are going to have to be replaced after they've done. And to me, it's the self-aggrandizement and the desire to literally put your stamp. And I think that he is smart in a way of that, taking that angle, like, let me do something that will last beyond me.
Right.
And you have to do all this work to undo it.
Yeah.
That used to be unthinkable to everybody else. I mean, changing the Department of Defense to the Department of War, he's put his face on like passes. Like, the national parks is so petty. They put his face on the passes to the national parks. And if you deface it, it's no longer a valid. So if you like scrape his face off, they won't accept the ticket.
You can't write a mustache on it.
Right. Devil horns. Well, man, it's been real. We took a week off. We're so glad to be back. Sorry for jumping on a little late, but I'm glad my man, Pastor Jeff, is here.
Yes.
Big
Thank
Mike
you
is
all
in the
for
room.
coming in the room.
You guys are there. Be sure to like, share. We're going to talk about some heavy stuff. We've been waiting some weeks to have this conversation, but y'all know what time it is, man. It's time for Meme of the Week. So let's just get right to it. Meme of the Week.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the
Week. Thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
We are, these are all jokes. We are just playing.
And so this is an ode to church tech teams everywhere, because sometimes there are unexpected moments in church or unexpected things said, and this falls under the category, can I hit the mute button fast enough? Can I hit the mute button fast enough? Now, normally it's like a testimony, like an old church mother, and we've had a couple of these. This one's a little bit different. I don't think this is a preacher. I think it's a brother expressing himself. But then he starts expressing frustration with a certain element of the church that doesn't please him.
Okay.
And it goes a little far. Shout out to the tech team who had to respond the best way they could. It's not a long clip. They are the first responders of technology. Here we go.
Which one? The first one, the second one? I forgot.
My black guy.
All right, here we go.
To come in and try to get some help. And then this right here gonna really shock you. This right here gonna really shock you. Get what they coming to church doing? Being gay. Yeah, you gotta come here being gay. Bring a little gay spirit in him. Yeah, walking past like this. Yeah. Yeah, you at church being gay. How dare you? Want to get tight, deep undercovers. You feel me? Got these undercovers scattered throughout here. I got a couple y'all be looking at me. I'm telling you, boy, you ain't gonna stick nothing at me.
Being gay.
They brought that graphic up. First, I thought it was Draymond Green. I told my guy, I said, Draymond Green get saved? But, I mean, all right. So convictions aside, which I'm not saying to put them aside, but I'm just saying presentation, where's your pastor? If you're not the pastor, how did this become your subject of choice?
Who let him up?
Who let him up? How did you not know that was going to come? You can't tell me that a person who speaks like that has not already broadcast.
Something crazy, right?
You can't tell me.
Right.
You can't tell me that he was just this demure, quiet, respectable understanding person, and he just went out there and wilded out.
The sound man should have been ready.
He
know what
wasn't
I'm
ready
saying?
fast enough. Graphics guy was. They were probably communicating with each other. He said they did the slow fade out.
Don't think, because it happens all the time. I don't know how many times. I think I've been in Steubenville 3 years. And what they say.
Hope said he probably the biggest gay. Now, I was going to say his tone was a little suspect for a minute there. Like, are you just trying to deflect?
But
know.
what I was, I've been in Steubenville a little over 2 years now, and I've had at least 3 times such and such want to say something. No. First of all, I don't even know y'all that well.
We don't know you like that.
No,
We don't know where you're
you're not
going.
saying nothing. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not letting you say anything.
I feel for all churches because we've all had unexpected things happen in our churches in years past. But now everything is broadcast to the whole world. And, and I can give like first perfect example, we have sound people, but sometimes they just turn their back and don't even think, they're doing something else. They're checking on something else. And they're like, am I hearing what I think I hear? Like, is that, do we need to, you jumping over pews, trying to get back to the booth?
It depends on who's up.
It does depend on who's up.
It depends on who's up.
It does. Mike is going to have to confess a few times.
Somebody might slip, so your hands
Yeah,
are
you got to be ready. Let me find that channel right quick.
Right.
And sometimes you just need to go out just preemptively, just in case. Sometimes you got to preempt.
Right.
Anybody going to be mad. You come back in 5 seconds once you know the coast is clear. But being gay. I'm like, what year is it? You don't have to worry about Messiah. She says, I hold my breath every time Pastor gives Messiah the microphone. Hey, I'm going to let him say something every week till I'm gone. He's just going, we're going to have a Messiah moment in church. Like
Messiah moment.
A Messiah moment. Whatever you want to say, what's on your heart, son?
Preach. Talk about Trump.
I don't think the Joker is saved. he actually did talk about Trump at the Christmas play.
Yeah.
He said, Trump is the worst president ever. I'm like, amen, son. We are learning something here. I'm glad I've made an impact on your life. My work here is done. I'm like, now do y'all get it? I've completed my mission. But yeah, so that's gonna be an ongoing thing. I won't be surprised if some churches start adopting tape delay or, just like Saturday Night Live does and some of these live broadcasts. Like, we're just going to have mechanisms in place.
Little delay, little 5-second delay.
You never know.
I got 6 cameras to choose from, so I can always move.
That is true. We can always move off of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you got to hit that audio and that video
Mute
at
the
the
mic
same
real
time.
quick.
You got to mute it. But if you have a meme you'd like to send in, you can always email it to religiouslyincorrectpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to see anything that you've come across that we haven't quite come across just yet. There's always new material out there, so we love to see it. When's the party to celebrate Ethan's victory? I don't know. Maybe we might have to have a little get-together tomorrow night. We might have to do something to celebrate him. We gave him a shout out earlier, but we appreciate you all. Before we move on, of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Annex Events. If you have need of any particular equipment, furniture, facilities of any type, Annex Events are your people. From tents to custom chairs, table settings, party machines, and the party dome. They will make sure you get it in for a great price. I've told you before that we are satisfied customers, so much so that we've reached out to them again for another event at Second Baptist Church. Call Annex Events at 330-979-2909 or look them up on Facebook. Annex Events, proud sponsor of Religiously Incorrect Podcast. Thank you so much for being our sponsor.
You can rent that party dome for Ethan's party.
You can get that. We'll get that party dome and kick it for the whole team. You know what I
Put
mean?
it out in the cold.
Listen, it's gonna be
Get the igloo,
it's an
Joe.
igloo. Them kids ain't trying to visit them.
Right.
And let me just touch on that before we get to our amen or nah. Everybody, I have an answer for everybody who's asking, where are all the kids with the shovels? Now, there were some in some neighborhoods, and more power to the young men that went out there. I'll tell you where the kids are with the shovels. Their mamas won't let them out the house because Shamika's one of them. It's just a new breed. We keep saying it's a new breed of kid, and I'm just joking about Shamika, but not really. But we got a new breed of like parents who don't want their kids out the same way, and not just for safety's sake. Like they don't have that workman go down the street. We used to just literally go around the neighborhood. You know, now I quit.
Everywhere.
I quit when the lady down the street from the dad parents' house, she tried to pay us with candy. like a little candy dish by the door. She's like, "Oh, thank you." And it was like some root beer barrels or something else. I'm like, I mean, I know it's the 90s, you know, but dog, $5 something. So yeah, I was done with that. But you know, the parents are a little different. It's too cold. I'm like, man, frostbite ain't never hurt no kids. You know, just a few fingers, they'll grow back.
I'm telling you, man, I was extreme because I was complaining because I've been out there for a while now, and they always doing everybody's driveway. They actually came and done my driveway, man.
Who was everybody?
I don't know, just random people just pulling up doing your driveway.
Really?
Just random. I'm like, I thought it was your boy.
That's the neighborhood you live in.
Yeah, I thought it was your boy.
You got them good neighbors, bro.
I'm like, oh, Todd's cat came over and he's done, and I'm like, he ain't asked for no money. You know, I gotta pay the dude.
It was like a pay it forward kind of situation, or
I hope not, because I ain't paying nothing. I ain't doing nobody's driveway. I'm telling you. But I called Todd.
you bought the automatic rake. Why did you buy the automatic snow thingy?
But I called Todd the other day, and I'm like, I have 4 houses on my street, Mike. And they shovel, they plow my street like it's East Market. Like every 5 seconds, somebody up. I'm like, ain't nobody here. Nobody's gonna come up
in
and
that
down
nice
the
neighborhood,
streets.
man. Y'all paying them
Like ain't
Zeta
nobody
taxes.
coming up and down the street. Why are they keep on plowing our streets?
Listen,
You better appreciate that.
You better appreciate it.
Trust me, I do. It's like I said, it's good for me, but it just makes me see the difference. When I stayed on Francis, they didn't even come. I had to report off like 3 days in a row because they never came to our streets.
Y'all didn't exist, boy. Yeah, that's hilarious, man. I mean, we have a neighbor of a neighbor who is our true longtime neighbor come down, do the sidewalk, make sure the sidewalk's clear. And then he was like, "Hey, Ray, you want me to do your drive for you?" And I was like, and I'd already had it done professionally because it was super cold and, you know, it's dangerous out there and very heavy and hot. So I made a guy come and do it. Then you get that little layer. Right. All right, the boys can do that. And so he's like, "How come I do it?" I said, No. I said, "You could do the bottom for us. That'd be really nice where it's piled up from the plow." I said, "My boys need to get out the house. Like, you know, they just need to, they ain't doing nothing but just doing a little sliding across the thing to clear it off." And I appreciate it, you know, but I'm like, nah, these cats got to work. You know, they got to do something. They got to earn their keep. And the way these kids have been home since Christmas break, between 2 weeks of Christmas break, Martin Luther King weekend, and then basically a whole week off, plus a snow day or two mixed in there. Before this Snowmageddon, they had a couple snow days here and there. It's been torture, man. I want my house back.
And I know we got to go.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, that Thursday I was peed.
When they sent them back?
Not that I was peed today, I was going back to school, but I'm taking Christian to school and I'm watching kids walk down Elm Road in snow this high.
It was bad.
I mean, they can't get in the street because it's a million cars. And I'm like, why are they out?
This is bad.
This is horrible. It was horrible. Trash cans in the middle of the street.
I'll call it what it is. That was a bad decision.
It was horrible.
I'm sorry. You know, you don't like to question other leaders' decision, but that one wasn't great at all. I mean, just we wish you would clear off. People don't, though.
Right.
I mean, I got calls about that. Well, I said, yeah, there's laws. I mean, what are we doing?
Right.
And on top of that, when you consider the bitter cold is literally unsafe for people to go out and try to clean all that up. It's just unsafe.
Right. Absolutely.
If you can't afford the snow blower or the person to pay do these sidewalks and all, they telling you have a heart attack or frostbite in 30 minutes. All right, well, we're all kind of trapped in this. It just is what it is. You know, y'all passed out 9 million laptops a couple years ago. The heck? Get on TikTok and give them a lesson. Do something.
They didn't even have the sidewalk plowed at the school.
At the school.
I'm like, y'all got to do better.
Y'all can go live on Facebook. Have your teachers go live on Facebook like the preachers do. Do something. Do something. I mean, we're there.
So what, Warren doesn't have virtual learning?
Apparently we do not.
Okay.
Apparently that's gone by the wayside. And them laptops they got during COVID about dead. I mean, them suckers got Windows 98 on them. I mean, we don't know what's. And they still trying to hold $250 over my head talking about if you don't turn them in, they ain't worth $250. The attendance was way down. Some of these kids had like 9 kids in a class.
My son said his biggest class was 10 kids.
Yeah.
Wow. Most of them was 3.
I mean, there was no line when I dropped them off. I was happy about that. There was no line. But let's jump to Amen or Nah. We're going to talk about some things tonight.
Ethan and Eliza Christian was the only people.
They were the only
that
ones in there.
day.
It was the Johnson Stanford School. All right, this is this week's version of Amen or Nah. I can't believe I hadn't played this one already. I guess I have to just let it speak for itself. We know the purpose of Amen or Nah. We hear a preacher or some other person give some spiritual take on something, and Amen or Nah. So here we go.
Here it is.
2 minutes of bliss for you.
We got first and last names of 6 witches that are in our church. And you know what's strange? 3 of you are in this room right now.
Yes,
3 of you in the room right now. You better look in my eyeballs. We ain't afraid of you, you stinking witch. You devil-worshiping Satanist witch. We cast you out in the name of Jesus Christ. We break your spells. We break your curse. We got your first name. We got your last name. We even got an address for one of you. Yeah. You so much as cough wrong, and I'll expose you in front of everybody in this tent, you stinking witch. You spell-casting, pharmakia, devil-worshiping mongrel, you. You were sent to this church to destroy us. You were sent to this church to lure us in. You were sent to this church to cast spell. Listen, some of you been sick because you befriended that witch. And I'm going to go ahead and serve notice on you right now. Don't move. I'm in the mood. 2 of you in my wife's ladies Bible study, and you know who you are, and we gonna ask you to get out, or I'll expose you in front of everybody.
Okay. That's enough. That's enough.
Stinking witch, we ain't playing your...
All right. So you have 6 witches in your church, and 2 in your wife's Bible study. Is this a you problem? I mean,
Got
is this
6 witches, 3 guitars. What is going on? It's all kind of stuff going on.
Leonard
over there.
Skinner is your worship band?
Yeah.
I mean, how do we feel about claiming, you know, he's infamous for this. I mean, he was a COVID denier. He fought the shutdown, put a tent up outside his church to get, I mean, he's done this a few times. So I guess here's my thing with this. Should you expose satanic, demonic influences in your church? Here's me. Okay, some people say expose, call them out, rebuke them. Here's my question: why are they there? How long have they been members of your church?
Comfortable?
How are they so comfortable?
How are they so comfortable in the presence? And if you're preaching the Jesus that we all serve,
I'm gonna say this one, his wife. Who knows? I am 1,000,000% in favor of addressing, rebuking any evil, demonic, satanic influence. I question, however, what you just said. I've said this a million times. I've said it in Bible studies. I've said it in church. I remember growing up in church, various churches, and we would go through an entire Holy Ghost-filled service. And then 3 hours later, they're like, there's a demon in here. And you cast out, call it out in somebody. And I'm just like, how? I thought at the very name of Jesus, like literally, like how can that cohabitation take place biblically? No, you won't bring him to my office. I'm trying to figure out how that can take place biblically. And maybe somebody is much smarter. Please don't come up with no flash in the pan theology for this. But I've struggled with it ever since then. Now, I'm not saying that we're always able to perceive and be sensitive to everything right away. And maybe ours, I don't mean to be funny, but our spidey senses get a little, you know, later on, or God allows you. Maybe people say, well, God didn't allow me to recognize it or address it until that time or whatever.
But he's saying people are getting sick because you've gotten close to the witches. So you're just allowing your
So
members.
you allowed your people to
You're
get,
allowing
you're
your
exposing
members.
innocent people, new babes in Christ, children.
Your blood is on their hands.
I agree.
Listen,
When they used to do that, casting out, they used to send the kids out to church back in the day. They used to let us leave.
I think you was at the one service with me when like 50 people was trying to cast them.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were losing too.
They were losing. They lost.
They
lost.
They lost the battle.
They lost that one.
What you
I'm
want to
like-
say, Big Mike? I remember that. It was bad.
So
if
bad.
it's that bad, it's that serious, just call them out.
That,
I mean, what you
I'm
waiting
about
on?
to call you out.
What you waiting on? You got their
It
name, you
feels
got their first name,
performative.
you got their last name, you got one of them's address. What you waiting on?
It feels performative.
Well, first of all, if they go to your church, how do you only got one of their addresses? I'm just to
There's
me.
a lot.
To me,
Yeah,
it was
there's a lot
to me it's a
going
lot
on
of
there.
like you said. If it's that bad, call them out, tell them to get out, or talk to them before church. You know what? I know what you're doing. Maybe you shouldn't be. This shouldn't be the
Yeah,
church
you can't-
that
you can't-
attend.
yeah, you can't come
You
here.
know what I mean? So you ain't even got to go through all that. For me, it's another clickbait moment.
Yeah, yeah. And he's become known, and I've said it all the time. All of us are susceptible to it, whether it's preaching, worship, whatever. And then, of course, pastoral kind of. This is another example, and we've seen it before. We've seen it with the pastor who's always addressing whatever is happening in contemporary life. We're seeing it with that Geno Jennings brother. It's like once you become known for something and you know it's going to get you attention, you just keep leaning into it. You just keep doing controversial stuff. You almost want to go viral. You almost want people to know you as the radical, basically Howard Sternish type shock jock preacher. I'm gonna say anything and everything and call people out and this, that, and the other. And it's tired, to be honest. It's tired. So I guess is my assessment. Nah.
No,
Nah.
I was about to cuss, but no.
Yeah, hexy nah. We used to say
No
hexy.
to the no, no.
We couldn't say the real word. We used to say hexy nah. I remember when we had a Bible study on witches at my church when I was a child, and somebody like wrote a letter later and was like, "I'm a real witch, and I was amused by your Bible study." And now that I'm a little older, like our Bible studies had like 10 people in them, so I'm just kind of like, what are we doing? It is, and then I'm like, what's the witch doing? Like, why does a witch want to go to church? I mean, I know that I guess they're on Satan's assignment or whatever, but don't you have like a witch church to go to? Like
Right.
What happened to no weapon formed against me? shall prosper?
I don't know, man.
You got scripture for everything else.
Yeah. Enemy comes in like the flood. Lord, lift up a standard against them. What happened to the power in Jesus' name? I mean, I thought that the rebuke in Jesus' name should just be the end of it. Shouldn't they just go fleeing? Isn't that what's supposed to happen?
Well, I mean,
You got to open the door. First.
You got to open the door.
you got all
Point
these,
to the door.
you got all these people in the church, and all these pastors in the same church, nobody should die there either. So.
But we know who should have been there. I was in a church where the preacher literally said, and he wasn't even the preacher at the church, he bashed the other preachers because they didn't have enough power to raise somebody from the dead. Somebody was sick, and they did eventually. It's like, all this power in here. I'm like, come on, man. Just stop. So to the nah, to the nah. Greg Locke.
Yeah.
Well-
All for me.
No
Okay,
way.
here we go.
No way.
We know Jeff's comfortable now. He's singing. Jeff's comfortable. Well, we've been off for a few weeks. We took a few weeks off, then we came back on for virtual, and we've had a busy. I've at least had a busy 3 weeks. And I guess I'll let Jeff take the lead on this. I don't have to feel like I'm talking about myself, but I think we need to talk about some things, Pastor Jeff.
Well, our topic today is the decision, and
I'm taking my talents. No, I'm joking.
and as everybody knows by now, Pastor Todd has made his announcement. He's dealt with the church. He's dealt with the people. He's dealt with some phone calls. He's dealt with all his different, organizations that he's been with. And so now I think it's a good time that we literally talk about these quote unquote transitions And the first thing I want to throw up and bring to you, Pastor Todd, is, and I don't know how this went for you. You know, I wasn't there.
Grover said we only got 2 witches left.
What'd he say?
God's blessing us. We got 2 witches left.
Hey, we had a lot more when I started, God. We had a lot more. Oh my goodness. Okay, so back to your question. We'll try.
I don't know how it went for you because I wasn't there, and I just believe it's good because of who you are and because of your demeanor and your character. But you know, we love to quote that scripture that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
Yeah.
Until they ordered.
Until they're ordered away from you.
Until they ordered away. The steps was ordered when you got the new car.
Right.
The steps was ordered when you bought the new house.
Steps was ordered when I came to the church.
The steps was ordered when you came, but when you leave, that wasn't God.
That ain't that.
That ain't God.
That's shady, dirty.
God wasn't in that mood, Doc.
Yeah.
In your overall. And I say this with so much compassion because I was there with you at Agape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of the things you used to say so much was that, I've only been in this one church. I know a lot of you guys have been around. I've only been in this one church. And so now that you're 2 churches in, how has this transition been different from your first transition?
Great question.
The first transition was on one level anticipated. God had a plan all along, and I knew it. But at the same time, it was more unexpected and unconventional than this one. I had become the pastor of my family, childhood, only church I've ever been at, like you said. That's all I knew. Thank you, Pastor Les. Bless your bones and your words. Order steps, don't ask for other feet's approval. Man, I don't preach. I don't preach, and I will preach it. And like many sons in ministry, literally, not just in ministry, but literally, you take over for your own father, your own flesh and blood. That's kind of like a done deal for the rest of your life. I mean, you just don't. You don't start with your family and then turn around and leave your family if you're ascending to that place. So that was the first thing, was that it was, the first one was a little bit more emotional. Now, to be clear, there always are, and there were some changes, transitions, frustrations going on a little bit. So you kind of feel it, but for all intents and purposes, Agape was a thriving, growing, and bustling church in a lot of ways. I mean, we were like on overflow mode during my pastorate, Easters and Mother's Day and stuff like that. But also our just regular ministry was just flourishing in a way. So I was much younger. I was totally green to the process. Just really following God because there was no template. And not to say I'm not really following God this time, but all I had was, put it this way, I was at the mercy of everybody else. I was at the mercy in a way. Am I taking the right steps? Is this the way it's supposed to go? My father had never undergone a church transition. Our church had never undergone a church transition except for death. There had never been like God is calling me somewhere else outside of God called this man to glory and we got to pick somebody else to pick it up. So that was the biggest difference. But I think 10 years of maturity and growth, you interact with other pastors, you kind of watch from a distance what's happening in other places, and none of those things are influencing you like, oh man, that looks great, I wish I could go somewhere big. That's not the thing. But you do see good examples of transitions and not so good examples of transitions, and you meet people who are hoping, praying, and I don't want to say ambitious, but they're in that world where it's almost an expectation that you kind of, I'm going to do 4 years here, I'm going to do 12 years here, I'm going to do 7 years here, and then move up, and it just should sort of happen because I got degrees, or people treat like churches like starter churches, like a starter home. Right. You know, I mean, there's a little bit of that element that exists. I did discover that my perceptions, and again, and I don't want you to ever think I'm speaking ill of my home church, because it's more of a function of inexperience and lack of exposure than anything. But the idea of going from one church to another was kind of sort of frowned upon, like almost as if, well, that's just the movements of men, you know, who are ambitious and all that. And one thing I found out, most people, even those who are the degreed people and who do have the connections and who have networked and all that kind of stuff, the vast majority of them, it is still very much a spirit-led and God-ordained move. Now, do wonky things happen around transitions? Things don't work out. It has happened and will happen. That's a part of life anywhere. But the views I had about it, what it means to minister somewhere else, and people talk about, oh, only God can move me, and that's almost like a permanent kind of talk. Like I'm not supposed to go anywhere for 50 years. So God kind of broke that down in me because I was able to be exposed. And again, because I was more underexposed. You felt like all the ways of the church world outside of the bubble I was raised in were just a part of this like church industrial complex with just a bunch of messy people basically. And I found out that's not the case. There's a great sincerity of heart and desire to serve God and this big mixed up world we live in where you can feel a call and know it is God. I had to mature into that, not ever looking for it. It started by just viewing the whole church different, period. Mm-hmm. It was not about, well, God, I hope it happens for me. It started by just viewing just the body of Christ, fellow ministers, people I had a bad perception of, things I didn't really know, I thought I knew and I did not know. And so when this started to come about, I was more prepared than I had been in the past. And I was more discerning and more wise, and I like to think gracious and cautious and honorable than I would have been if this had been thrown at me when I was younger. And I think that's what messes a lot of preachers up who are not raised in those family atmospheres and in this cocoon kind of a thing. Like, so I'm underexposed, but I have a different kind of sense of honor. And I think that's been helpful in this process now. And I hope that answers somewhat.
Absolutely. Now, listen, y'all, we're
y'all
gonna
can ask y'all questions.
We're
too.
going to
Just
be discussing
respectful.
this for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a
So
little bit.
y'all, we're going to be here for a couple weeks. So, just put your seatbelt on, prepare. It's going to be a slow ride. I've heard Pastor Todd so often that, and that you can speak to this debate, people put on Facebook and all over that it's so much more difficult to start a church than to take over a church. And I don't believe that that's the truth. Because oftentimes, and I've been in both situations, but oftentimes when you're taking over a church, you have to take over a church from somebody who already has their DNA on that church.
Oh, yeah.
And so now you've had 10 years to put your DNA on second.
Right.
I know myself that those people, those members, even those who are online right now, absolutely love you. You talked to me briefly about...
Maybe the ones commenting love me. I'm sure there's some other people.
You talked to me briefly about the only thing you can actually compare this to is almost like a football
like a
team.
coach.
Like a coach. Talk about that for a second.
I felt like when somebody asked me what's it like, that's what I said was it's the best secular job I can think of, and I hate to use that word job, but is being a coach, because you have this, it's not just a job, it's not just a career. You are embedded in the lives of people, especially if you think like a college coach or, you really get to know life with families and people and you have a system you develop. You have a culture you seek to create. And then of course in our parlance, God is seeking to use you to create this culture and this field. And in some ways you can build off of legacies that you have walked into, which I've tried to do. Like you said, there's a mixture in a way. I hate to keep using this motif, but it's true. There's the DNA of who's come before me mixed with mine in a way. And so it's kind of creating this world that we're in right now. And, but you feel it because you know that coming in, you have to establish a system and build on what's there. And then when the time of departure comes, if that time ever comes for you, one of the things you considered is what will that do to the people you love? I mean, think about how we see in the college world now, especially college, where you see these coaches like recruit kids, and don't take another job somewhere.
Right.
That's a wild dynamic that, we're all just getting used to because we don't know that world really. But if people understood really like the depth of love and affection and closeness that you have for people, I would hope that they would understand, especially Christians. I can't speak to the outside world. People just talk whatever crazy talk they want to talk. But if you're a believer, a Christian of any sort, you have to know that nobody's just trying to run around and leave people they love and who love them for kicks,
right,
nor for dollars, quite frankly. That ain't even the thing. It's a heart-wrenching decision of following Christ. And the decision, let me be very clear here. We call it the decision, but the decision is to follow God.
Absolutely.
That's the decision. The decision is not, is this church better than that church? Is this city bigger than that city? Is there more opportunity over here? And I know that's the language we use. People say to me all the time, and I know they mean well, when a big opportunity comes, you got to take it. You know what I mean? I'm like, would y'all be more ticked off if God called me to like some country church in Arkansas? Because that could very well be God's call too. Could be. So that's the struggle. It is much. That's the best thing I can compare it to. It's like a coach, because there's a whole system attached, and there's a whole culture created, and there are ties that will be with you forever. By the way, and I have to tell you, last week, while it's still up on Facebook, last week's sermon that Bishop Timothy J. Clark preached about the pain of departure. And I made you listen to it, actually, on the way to Columbus the other week. And he talked about departing and disappointing people. And when I watched that, not this past Sunday virtual service, but the Sunday before, I sat at my table and wept while I was listening to him. And he was using the story of him leaving Warren to share very transparently that if God has you on assignment, which was the theme, you may have to depart. And when you depart, you will disappoint people. And some of those hurts and disappointments will never be fixed. Never. And in you, people will come up to you, you were supposed to preach my funeral. And he said that. I'm like, I'm with you, Bishop. You help raise my kids. You baptize our family, And so that's a big part of it that people don't always get. And it's okay if they don't, because it is such a unique call. And I think that's the other part of it, is that we've always said, Deacon Willoughby said this before, like, there is no position higher in this world than that of a pastor. And I would say that there's no position more unique than that of a shepherd and a pastor, because it's just such a configuration of duty, and there's a career aspect, I guess, to it, a job aspect, a relational aspect, a social aspect, a spiritual aspect, all this stuff in this one big messy ball, and they wonder why preachers have so many issues. It comes with the territory. So that's the best I can compare it to. But the truth of the matter is, there's no comparison to it. There is, especially in the prime and phase of life that I'm in. I'm not 78 ready to go sit on the beach.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not quite 21, like, all right, kick you out the nest. I'm in that place where people really wish you wouldn't leave,
It's crazy, man. You talked about a couple things, but I've still had to do a couple funerals for folk at Beulah, which I've been gone. You were at my last sermon at Beulah, and the old first lady was one of the people who was hurt the most. And I went to a party the other day, and it was the first time we actually sat down and hugged and literally teared up.
Wow.
And she's like, I'm so sorry for the way I acted, but I understood. It wasn't that you were hurt, that I left, and I understand that. So I just want to talk. And next week we're gonna talk about some real good stuff. Whether we do it next week or not, I know it's Super Bowl.
Yeah, who knows? We'll get it in.
We definitely gonna get it in. But I want to talk about some of the painful parts.
Ooh, yeah.
I want to talk about some of the painful parts today, because there is a part of this transition.
Nobody brought tissues to this show? All right, go ahead.
There's a part to this transition that, I think anybody who's outside of the pastor doesn't know. And the part is the actual transition itself, and the actual, you don't know whether all this is going to go through.
Listen.
You don't, and there is you know,
I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm not saying
right.
I don't trust, you know, my church or the pastor.
And people don't understand. And listen, and I can say this, and I can say this with all assurity because it happened to me.
You've been there, brother.
It happened to me when I thought for sure I had a church. I literally gave my last sermon, picked up my last check, walked out my church, got halfway up the street and got a call that said, things have changed.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That quick. So you can't just make these blunt, you know, say, this is what it is. Just, you know what I mean? You have to go through a lot of stuff. And so can we just talk about that for a minute?
Well, first of all, that feeds the caution that we exercise around announcements when people are like, well, why don't you say this? Or how come we don't say it sooner and all that? I mean, nothing in life is ever guaranteed. And I'm just saying that from a very human perspective. Nothing in life is ever guaranteed. So many things could happen that have nothing to do with that church. I'm sick. So many things could just happen unexpectedly in the meantime. But you talk about a leap of faith, and that goes for any of us that decide to take a job in another city. You say yes to that. And you get there and it doesn't work out, now you're stuck there.
Yep.
Some people have gotten married and moved in with somebody or upended their entire life and didn't know how it was going to work out. After 6 months or a year or 2 years or sometimes much, much longer, you're like, oh man, I can't believe I'm in this position. So life be life. And then, you know, I walked with you. That situation was very intimate to the both of us. Right. And I think both of us have, like, you know, some definite battle scars from that situation. Then I've watched a few others. Some I've looked at the pastors like, I don't know if you made a wise decision jumping and running, or you went on certain assumptions, which again feeds the wisdom of how you, if something comes your way, you kind of know how to target your prayers and even target your thoughts and your caution about your life because you've seen some cautionary tales. Right. There's another pastor I'm deep friends with who was going to a whole other city, and it was announced in the paper and everything, and his home church pastor made an announcement to their congregation, special announcement of farewell, only for it to be canceled on them. So it is a leap of faith and a lot of moving parts. You have the past, me, let's say, in this valley of decision. You have the church you're departing from, and you're worried about how they're going to take that. You have the church you're going to, and making sure all of those moving parts, because they've probably got moving parts. I've went through this before with Second. You know, they got meetings they got to have. They got votes they got to have. They got people have desires. Anybody who's ever been a candidate for a pastor, you know, it's like people that come to you, tell you, we love you. We hope they choose you. Well, they don't speak for everybody.
Right.
They don't speak for everybody.
There's another pastor that going for the same job.
Somebody else is saying something.
We love you.
If there is other candidates or whatever, which just wasn't the case with me. But yeah, that's painful. And then the assumptions that can sometimes develop because people just don't know. And I tell myself all the time, humans are humans are humans are humans. You assume about what you don't know. Sometimes you sort of project maybe some of the ways of this world and sometimes the ways of yourself. And I'm saying that about people with criticisms like, you know, maybe you're speaking about how you would have handled things or what your motivations would have been or what your considerations would have been. And you're just sort of ascribing that to me. And then I keep saying this, we live in such an anti-authority, popularity, prominence, whatever kind of world that anybody who makes major moves, and let's just be clear, let's be honest, especially when you're in a small town, especially when you're in a smaller town, this stuff just ain't happening every day. It just doesn't.
Right.
So church world, secular world, ain't a whole lot of people making announcements that they're going off to some big position anywhere. There's not a whole lot of people talking about, I'm about to go be the CEO of Cleveland Clinic and I graduated from Harding 20 years ago. You know, that's not happening. All that. We have greatness, by the way, some great things, but it's not every day that you see this kind of thing. So I don't know if that disturbs some people. And, you know, to what Marlon asked about, you know, do you feel like it's a betrayal or you get comments? I feel it. And again, I'm not talking about like dumb hate, just hateful hater people, but even within the church, I mean, you get it. It's a natural feeling. You know, you feel a little betrayed. The church has loved me taken care of me, taken care of my family, been good to me, helped my life sustain, allowed me to go full-time in ministry, helped me to graduate from college. So I could imagine somebody would be like, Negro, I want my offering back. I can imagine. I hyped you up so much, so proud of you. People would say I came back to church because of you. You know, you take that with the gracious gratitude. You don't think, oh, I had all these people, but it's real. God uses you for these purposes. So you worry about the people, which is why I kind of keep saying what I'm saying to the church, is that it's the people who matter, the souls who matter, the new babes in Christ. I don't care if they're young, old, whatever. Let's treat this like souls are at stake, because it is. They are. And so now outside this idea of betraying, I mean, I think people just have a problem with anybody going on anything big. And I'll be honest, let's talk very bluntly about Black community stuff. We love talking success, but we hate to see our folks succeed.
Well,
let's just be clear. We love talking success, but we really do hate this, because I've never seen it anywhere, to be honest, in our community. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about anywhere where somebody really does go succeed. And it's not a whole lot of just dumb negativity, like just craziness, you know, just stupidity, basically wishing for people's downfall. Can't wait to see that kid that made the league back on the street. Can't wait to told you so, you know. It's toxic, and it's sad because it speaks very loudly to our young people and to our community that, you know, but the other part is sometimes you let those negative voices speak so loud that you forget that there are so many more, exponentially more, that are proud. And sometimes you're so worried about the one goat, you forget about the 90 sheep that are positive and loving. So that's a battle in a way.
But just to talk about that toxicity for a second, because I've watched you. And I mean, I can honestly say there's not very many people closer to you than I have been.
You're correct.
Over these last
pastorate,
several years.
Especially in ministry.
But I've watched you blood, sweat, and tears for Warren, for this city, for this community. I've watched you, literally try to go where gunfights were. You know what I mean? I've watched people come into church and, running, and you just stopped and prayed.
The guy hiding behind the tree. Get Jeff into some stuff.
I've been on the phone with you where you running up to people parked in the church parking lot. I've been there. I've been with you when we were down there, doing the marches for the young man who got shot, and at the police station. I've been with you through all of this. And when you make your announcement, have you felt, or do you feel like the community has given back to you the love that you put out?
I'm going to say an easy yes. An easy yes. Okay. And again, there are various elements of response, and hearts will reveal themselves. Now, to some people, again, the toxicity that it just exists in society, and I'm not like personifying it all in myself, like I'm the greatest guy and people don't appreciate me. Period. If you ask people about the work of anybody, and obviously we're talking about me, so some folk, it was just all one big charade. It was just the biggest act. And I'm just like, well, doggone it, give me an Oscar then. I mean, because, sleepless nights, money that could have been in the bank for my family that ain't, time away from family, being maligned, mudslinging, standing up for people who don't stand up for you, opening up your church to people who will quickly get on Facebook and disrespect you after you just buried their family member for free, didn't ask for nothing, fed them, did all this kind of stuff. And I gave the order, by the way. People don't think, I don't know who they think, get it. I gave the order. We gonna do this. We gonna feed this. We are gonna write the check for this. And every once in a while, my bean counter out there will be like, rolling her eyes like, oh, these Negroes, as Tony Brown would say. So it's about blocking out that element. And it doesn't mean that you don't need to be humbled and think a little bit about some of those sentiments, because you need to know they exist. Let me just be honest. You know this to be true. You cannot be in ministry without being a little bit cynical.
Absolutely.
You can't be. You can't survive in ministry without a healthy dose of cynicism and realism. Not enough to make you sinful, because I feel like we have a cynicism epidemic, but you got to expect it. This is what it is. This is, and honestly, to serve the Lord, if this is the burden, some dumb Facebook comments from people that I don't even know, okay. You know, I mean, I guess, it sucks. So, but the love, the support, and honestly, man, can we be really real? For a lot of the outside chatter, this is the news of the day for a minute. And in June, these people will forget I existed. The outside chatter. People who have truly been in relationship, worked alongside, people who have appreciated the impact of everybody, by the way. I'm not just talking about me, anybody.
Absolutely.
So the people who still remember Ronald Fowlis will probably remember me. The people who remember the contributions of Gerald Morgan will probably remember me. You know, they'll miss me 5 years from now. People who never gave a care about any of this and just love to be a commentator and just love to be a critic of who and whatever. And God bless whoever the next person is, whoever you think the next hero will be. I can't wait to read the comments about you. I can't wait. It's going to be great. I'll be in New York, rubbing my hands together. Whoa, you know, you're the next hero. God bless you. But you have to be a little realistic about life. You really do. The very people that you have been preaching to might partake in some of that. We're humans. We've been preaching all this time. We all are sinners and we all have faults and we all have, guess what? Some of that stuff is going to affect my life or maybe center around my name or whatever. That's just a part of life. And so you learn how to love people in spite of that. And it's not even some charity love, because you know that people are loving you in spite of you. So if people can love me in spite of me, which I'm sure that takes a lot of work, I can love when I know everything's not kosher. You're smiling in my face, but I know there's probably another little opinion. And people have a right. Nobody's going to get in my face and cuss me out in the mall. But if you ask them privately, they'd be like, man, okay. Keep it private then. You know what I mean? You have a right to an opinion and a perspective. And I think you have to let people be people. It's okay. I had a sermon around it. I don't know if I'm going to get to it, but I was talking about people.
It's a lot.
Let's read a little bit. Let's start with Deacon Willoughby. Listen, as it relates to the church and the community, as one of our church mothers told me the other week, with the work, the maturity, and furthering his education, Pastor Johnson has outgrown us. Dear Sister Taylor, I love you, love you, love you. You've been watching you. I've known you all my life pretty much, and we are so very grateful for everything you've done. The religious community, our lives in general. I appreciate it. And I mean, those sentiments, I mean, they don't know how much they touch my heart. Like, this is, if you think this is just some corporate sign a piece of paper, get a bigger check, you know, get to wave at a larger crowd. And to answer Hope's question, yeah, they're excited. We're excited. You know, yeah, there's excitement. Every time I would go, you know, hugs and are you here to stay? You know, some of that stuff, because I've been back and forth a couple of times. But yeah, there's definitely excitement on that end. And we're grateful that there's excitement for us on each end in a way. But yeah, that's, I don't mind, and I do this with my church a lot. I like peeling back the curtain on the process, because I think some of the distrust and the cynicism comes from people not knowing the process, and they do feel like, oh, this is just some backroom conversation, and he's probably smoking a cigar and entertaining deals and all that kind of stuff. But I'll be honest, you know, let's talk blunt. Like, since the pandemic, I've probably been given overtures, and these are not offers and calls, but 4 or 5 churches. And in our world, sometimes somebody will call you like, brother, I'm about to recommend you for a church. Is that okay? Yeah. Like, I just know your heart. I know what they need. I really feel like you know, and what did Grove say to outgrow? I know you're outgrowing one. Like, they just talk that way. And people aren't just being straight ignorant. People are not calling, I mean this with all my heart. People are not just calling like, y'all, bro, you need to get out of there, bro. I got some money over here for you. Like, it's not that, you know, but they might say, hey, they got a good setup. You know, you don't have to worry about things. They're not going to jerk you around. You're not going to be mistreated, that kind of stuff.
No, he ain't gonna become no bishop.
I might.
I ain't letting him become a bishop. He is not gonna become a bishop.
I was looking at Rose the other night. I was about to call Miss Nita and say, listen, I need that Class A vestment. The jangles and the bangles.
Bishop Johnson.
Who knows? It's gonna be bishops now. Apparently,
it's only room for one Bishop Johnson in this.
Now listen, I'll be in the owner of the state, so I can take up that. But that's cool. I'll be Reverend Doctor soon enough. That's what matters. Give me a year to try to get the Reverend Doctor. Sister Michelle asked, is there anything else we could do to help you with this transition? Say the word. We want you to feel as loved as you are. I appreciate it. What you're doing, and I want to say, if morning comes and the creek don't rise in the next 20 some days, I hope that people see what I'm seeing and feeling, which is what I can only imagine is one of the healthiest and honorable and cleanest transitions. And I'm not saying that for my sake, but I will take a little credit because I've determined to do things a certain way. Our church is behaving a certain way. And even many people, most people in our community are behaving. And it's like, this is what it's supposed to be. If you do have to move on in life, it's like that star player that decides that they're just going to move on to another opportunity. They write a letter to their team, and I love the years with you. I'm not here to cuss out coaches or tell off people or say I was underpaid. I'm not doing all that, but I want to express my affection. The team gives them the farewell. The fans give them the ovation, and they go on with their life and play somewhere else. And it's not always animosity. I know LeBron kind of screwed it up, making a whole announcement, and they were burning jerseys. Yeah, I hope I can leave in peace with my house, or I'll leave with my house in pieces. Nah, he is my house specialist, and he gonna get us right before we do that. But I hope people see that. Like, if there ever has to be a God-ordained transition, this is what it should look like. I can say that with confidence.
But you set it up so nice, though. I mean, not for lack of a better phrase. You set it up nice. You had the meeting with the church. You know what I mean? You took questions. You explained the process. And what really stood out to me is that, you told us, look, I wasn't out giving my resumes to people.
Our best transition since 64. Hey, I read some of them notes, Doc. We got a book that goes back from 72 to like 80 something. Woo-wee. But back to that resume. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. Stay on that track line when you were talking about what we talked about.
Yeah, you just set it up so nice so that it wouldn't hurt as bad. You explained the process. You went into detail about it. Look, I met this guy. We hit it off. Conversation started after a while. I'm not out throwing resumes all over the place. That's not how it happened. So with that being said, I mean, it confirms that it's God's decision. Mm-hmm. It's God's plan for you to move on. Now, we've been rocking the podcast, 6-7 years now,
brother.
And early on, I had a feeling. I already knew, he's not going to be here no long time. You know what I mean? And anybody who's at Second or follows you in the community, if they've been paying attention, deep down, they knew it too.
Wow.
And I think that's been expressed from several people. I think that God uniquely positions us and prepares us for these types of moments. People can see it, they say it. And again, the good thing is I wasn't raised to look for it. And I've met you've met these young cats at conventions and stuff, and it's like they're the pedigree of it. They're next man up. Daddy's a preacher, great-granddaddy's a preacher. And I'm not talking about because my father's a preacher, my great-grandfather's a preacher, but they're like in the system. Right. They become the National Baptist or Full God or the Kojic or whatever their whole life. They just can't, I wasn't raised on exactly that dynamic. So it was almost healthy for me to be unfamiliar with it because I didn't walk around with this expectation or entitlement. Like, I'm getting this good. Somebody need to be calling me soon. Da, 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 da. I didn't, thankfully, that's George Johnson all day long. That even if I came into this world that was not the world of my upbringing, I was not sucked into that world. God had to do the work. And to those other, like I said, overtures, so to speak. And I mean, I got one through an email one time. One came to this church and Rose sent it to me, and it turned out to be like some video of a church, and that's what they were sending the candidates. And I realized I was like the Rooney Rule candidate. Those that know football. I was like the Rooney Rule candidate. And when I saw who did, and I never took it seriously. I was actually warned off of the church. And when I saw who got it, and I would always ask, like a wise person, what do you think? Some I wouldn't even ask. I was like, because I knew it was going to be that resume thing. It was going to be that submit your resume,
Right.
or somebody's watching you on Facebook and scoping you out or whatever, because that's what they can do now. They don't even have to invite you to preach anymore. They can just find you on Facebook, and that's probably how that happened. But this was relational, and it was relational in a way that under normal circumstances it doesn't happen. A guy from Warren doesn't meet a dynamic, anointed senior pastor from Queens, New York, strike up a relationship, and it builds and evolves naturally, spiritually, so to speak, into a movement of God. But I can attest to that before, and I said that a little bit with the church. A young non-denominational kid who's the son of George Howard Johnson Sr. probably wouldn't become, in a normal world, a mentee of sorts to a Reverend Dr. Frank L. Hearns at a Second Baptist church, one of the most institutional Baptist historic churches in the city. When I was raised in this full gospel, Pentecostal, non-denominational, prophetic kind of ministry, so to speak, that we were in just totally different worlds. I was somewhat despising the denominational model, the Baptist model, kind of raised know-it-all kind of a thing. And here I am all of a sudden building a relationship with Dr. Hearns, who I owe much to. And that was relational,
right,
over multiple years. I got to know Second before I came to Second. It's very parallel. And I don't want to say like some like relationship advice. The way you got him is the way you lose him. I'm not trying to say that. But, and I've said all this to our church, by the way. I mean, we had a very transparent conversation. But I said, even in the Bible study the other night, that transition prepared me for this transition. I knew what to look for. I knew what to feel. I had to have the same God-led feeling, the same peace that I had when I walked into 1510, not just as another youth minister doing a youth service or whatever, or 7 last words, but now as the so-called candidate or selected one, and now I'm starting to preach, or they're interviewing, whatever it was, or I come to my first service of worship. There was a peace I had, and quite frankly, it repeated itself. And so because of the good treatment and spiritual leading of the church that I've been blessed to serve for a decade, I knew what was God and what was Todd. I knew.
Wow.
Was it music department hitting and why?
You know what? They're very blessed. And I'm very grateful for the church. I was talking with the choir about it. I actually got to go sit down on a choir rehearsal, and of course I've been there a couple of times. Blessed. But I came to Second, and there was blessings, and then you're like, okay, let's put my stamp. What's God want to do through my pastorate? And that's gonna happen. So I joke with the church. I like, give it a year. With the choir, like, give it a year. Watch again. Well, I won't be directing.
He put a stamp and a stank on it.
Stamp and
stank on it.
Stamp and stank.
Stamp and stank.
You said you will be director?
No.
He said he won't.
No. But you know what, man? When you
I
see
don't know.
Marcus,
We'll see, man.
listen,
I know you.
Put it
I know
this way.
you.
I get to sit back more. I'll get to
Gotcha.
sit back more and do it when I want to do it. I watch my boy Marcus Crosby going with his choir. I be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's my man down at Wheeler Avenue.
Heck, see, the guy coming for Night of Hope. I mean,
Oh, Jonathan Nelson, Waller. Oh, yeah, Waller can lead us.
He can
lead us.
kill.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a preacher that knows how to lead his people in worship, man. I mean, that's a skill. That makes you a dual threat. Vince Peterson say you a triple, quadruple threat. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Big John, we'll see. God continues to progress. They've always had a phenomenal ministry, the New Jerusalem Worship Center in Queens, New York. They are wonderful people, warm people, down-to-earth people. They feel like warm people in a lot of ways. I guess I should be scared of that a little bit. But you don't feel like you're in some metro highfalutin, because you think New York, big city, everybody's running around, pushing each other down, and, like churches in the subway or something, like, or in a skyscraper. It's like people are living like we are. It's just busier, noisier in some ways, and you get used to that. But it's a Baptist church. I mean, Black Baptists are Black Baptists everywhere, just like Kojics are Kojics everywhere. Black church folk are Black church folk everywhere. So listen, it's the same old. I was tuning in today. I was like, okay, get a little shout bump going, So, that's all a part of the learning experience. I said, don't go up there and start drinking a big bottle of water. You know you drink 8-ounce water. And he watches that too. I have my little 8 ounces. My little 8 ounces. Yeah, don't be out there with them 32 essential. Hey, Pierre's Perrier that he be having. Pierre said he been using the same bottle and filling it up with tap water. Just to look fancy.
Listen, I know we got to go, man, but I do want to make a couple comments before we go.
Yeah,
man.
let's get it.
Just the fact that you talked about your transition, and Big Mike talked about how you set the things up, and I just want to commend you, man, because one of the things that I kept on hearing about, and although I'm not there, y'all know I hear everything, but one of the things I kept on hearing about is that how you encourage the folk to stay. Encourage those young folk that, a lot of them came because of you to stay, not to watch you on TV, not to try to tune into you. If you want to watch you later.
Watch me later.
But to stay at the church and make sure the second is taken care of. And I just want to commit, because so often, and I've seen really, well, I'm leaving. You might want to come over there. Obviously,
man.
Obviously, a lot of people ain't trying to come.
Here's
to
the QR code.
But I'm going to be over at such and such church. So
Right,
you might
right.
want to, but you never done that, man, and that's so commendable, man. So I just want to commend you on on how you've done, and this is literally a roadmap to how you transition well, how somebody, because there's more churches, more pastors going to transition. Pastors always do it, but to transition well and to make sure your people love you, to make sure that church is still. I've watched. I mean, you still do your promos for the church.
Oh, man,
come to set, you still
program
do.
Ain't changing, brother.
You still do everything until you leave.
I'm gonna be getting up in April like, hey, y'all go to Second Baptist Church. It's a word for you. Oh man, I came to a realization. It's funny because it actually happened when I was encountering someone who was hyping me a lot, and something kind of clicked in me that's a danger to me and to the ministry and what God wants to do. And something clicked, like, I really do love the church. The church, the church, the church, the church. It is bigger than any one person. And I know that because there's 15 pictures on the wall beside mine. And they had good days, they had bad days, they had incredibly successful days, they had sorrowful days, they had struggling days, fighting days, great, So nobody owns this thing, runs this thing, is the be all end all of this thing. Especially like you said, it's not like I'm the guy that's founded the church 50 years ago and it's Johnson Temple, Baptist Church. And it's not. It's Second Baptist Church, and it has been and will be. But I love church. I love the church. I really do. And I love Second Baptist Church. Pat Flanagan said something to me years ago, and he would say it in church sometimes, like, there's no church in the world like Second Baptist Church. And I'm sure everybody feels that way, and they should. But I really do feel that way about the church. And so knowing not what I built, and let's start with God, of course. Jesus, head of the church, God did everything, does everything, has graced us and made us able to do this. But if you think of the human terms, the efforts here, it's not what I built, it's what we built. And I'm only one part of the we. Very significant, I understand. Tip of the spear, so to speak. But I'll tell you a story that makes me think about this, that just came to my mind. One time I was joking with Bishop Clark, and I was in his office, and he had an Apple Pen. When they first came out, little white pens for tablets. And I said, man, I've been meaning to get one of those. I love those things, but I got to find one. And within a week or two, it was in the mail. Mm-hmm. And it was literally his Apple Pen. Wow. He had bought a new one, like the 2 had come out. And so he sent me his old one. I don't think I ever told him this, but about a month or two later, I broke the tip on accident on the Apple Pen. I broke the tip on it. Mm. I was distraught. And I wasn't even halfway using it like I wanted to. But I'm like, man, this cat gave me this. He's going to ask me sooner or later. So I just tossed it, and I bought another one eventually. And I still have it, and I don't use it. But I bought another one. Then one day I realized I was on Amazon. You can replace the tips. And I didn't know it. I thought it was ruined. I had no idea they screw off.
You can replace the tips.
You can
That's a
replace
word.
it.
That's a word, Doc.
I mean, this just came to me just now. So y'all take
I'm
this
a
good
preacher.
word. It's my third sermon of the year.
I hear it.
If I'm the tip of the spear, the tip of the pen, the tip can be replaced. The pencil's not broken. The pen's not. The spear's not broken. It's not broken. The church is the church. The church is the church. It's not broken because I'm leaving. It's not a failure of the church. It's not, I'm sick of the church, or it's not good enough. It's God will eventually replace with the appropriate tip for the moment in the season. And I trust God. And again, I love the church so much that I'll sit back and maybe someone will be as or more successful and y'all will love them. And I'll be watching y'all talk about, we love our pastor. And I'll be like, y'all used to love me. But in my heart, I'll be happy. You know, this is not a relationship. This ain't like watching my wife be with somebody else. You know what I mean? This is the church. It's the church. So, and I mean ex-wife, by the way, not wife. But so when you love the church and you come to that belief, and I don't think enough men and women of God come to that place. They do love their own ministries more than they love the church. And it shows. It shows. I don't want to be that way. I'll save it for another time. But that's what turns my heart in the right direction, is I've come to love a church. In the same way you got married and didn't think you could love your spouse as much as you loved them, and you had kids and know you how much you have to death. I feel that same way to a different degree about the church. You just had no idea. You didn't know. You didn't feel this way when you walked in and sat in that chair the first time and the choir's singing, and you're not really in control of the church, so to speak. You just a preacher for a while. You just doing then you kind of, like you said, put your DNA on it. Over that time, boy, it built. And so, that love and affection will never be there. I'll not be somewhere gloating about how great I am and how wonderful I have it, you know. And again, I have to give my bishop just the most phenomenal credit, because he's been able to share so much of his story with me. And because his first church was my family church, I know that he brought that pain once upon a time after only 4 years. I know Leon Troy, those that are old enough remember when he left here. Oh, Warren was going to fall in a hole. When he left here. But I had a chance to sit with both of them and talk about those movements, those emotions, those feelings. I've literally read the notes in the church journal of exactly what was said in meetings when he departed, Leon Troy. I read the letter he wrote to the church. It just does something to you. He loved the church. And then we went to, Columbus Second Baptist there. They loved the church. And so I love the church. I love Agape. I love Second Baptist. I already love New Jerusalem. Don't know how much we'll love them, because I know, but it'll be so much more than now. You know, you love them at the level you know them now. Then you get to know them better, and you love them even more. And so now I get to be blessed, because I have yet to be in a bad church.
Right. Praise God.
And I ain't about to.
Praise God.
Frustrations, difficulties, stuff happens, but I have yet to be in a bad church. And I trust God. I'll leave on this. I ain't about to. Don't plan on it. And I'm grateful that I can leave in a way that I can come back and not feel strange.
Amen.
If I'm able to get back, maybe for a homegoing of a precious soul, and I just want to be there, or maybe some celebration of some sort. Y'all can invite me back to preach. I will still walk y'all pews. I will walk them pews.
And I'm sure they will.
Listen, and don't have to feel strange or estranged. We'll never have a reason to speak down or bad on the church. And you could say, well, why? What? God has been too good to us. Even Doc Hearn said something on his way out, and that season was tough. But he said something. He said, the church has been fair to me. Church has been fair. They've been fair to me. And if you know Doc Kearns, you know Doc Kearns.
They've been fair to the Reverend.
Fair is a good word.
They've been fair to the Reverend.
Church has been more than fair. more, and I'm talking in the practical sense. Some of y'all don't like to hear that kind of talk, but the church has been more than fair, kind, generous, ain't had a bad meeting yet, didn't have a lot of dissension, no mess, no foolishness. And again, humans are humans. You can come tell me stories about, one guy was talking about, okay, and okay. That's life, man. People talk. I was at home talking about them. So, I mean, y'all was talking about me. I was on the phone with Jeff talking about y'all.
You know what? I was going to say this before I was going to say it before we got off. You are probably the 7th person and the 3rd person to ask my wife. I am not putting in any applications.
Who said that?
For Second Baptist Church.
Well, who said that? Did somebody comment that?
To be honest.
No, Hope was talking about me.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
You ain't about to be no mayor.
No. Oh no. I thought she said.
But I know you got it.
I know
you got it.
I've had at least 6 people ask me,
You're the
and
top
3
candidate.
people ask me. I am not putting an application for Second Baptist. First of all, I love Second Baptist Church of Steubenville.
Sure you do.
Absolutely love.
That ain't what this resume I got on my email said.
And second of all, like I told the last person, there's very few people that I don't want to come behind. Pastor Todd is one of them. Pastor Todd is one person.
I would make it hard for you.
I do not want to come behind. So thank you.
I would AI myself back in the sanctuary. You thought that was good.
A hologram.
I've got a hologram. ChatGPT, put me back in second. Yeah, I don't. I'll be honest. I don't see myself coming back in 3 years. Hey, listen, it costs too much money to come back in 3 years. Ain't man. You ain't.
Woo,
I mean,
God.
you're, and we'll talk about the LP War family. We'll talk about all that stuff later.
We got a whole lot to talk about.
But
a whole lot to talk about.
I'm just gonna trust God. We
are hiring people right now to help move.
Karen says, "Stop scaring everybody else off."
we are hiring people to move right
movers.
now. We giving y'all pizza and pop,
Brother,
pizza
listen.
and pop,
You
and
already
a trip to
know.
New York.
You already know. Somebody's like, look at his house. I found his house on Google Maps. Thank you, Big John. You said, don't come back, Pastor Todd. He said, leave and don't come back. They gonna put an angel at the door like Garden of Eden. They come back down East Market Street.
Hey, make sure you tell your videographer to do his homework and learn how to record you, because if he messing up,
Or I could just fly you in,
it's
Mike.
gonna be some problems.
It's
brother.
gonna be some problems.
It's gonna be
Listen,
Grover about to cut you out already. He trying to take people.
About to cuss.
I was just talking about you not taking
Out.
people.
Right. But hey, I've loved the conversation. I think it's healthy. I think it's good. I think it's fruitful. I don't mind being transparent. I know there's plenty of people watching. Grover said, Grover said, and I know there's plenty of people watching not commenting. I know there's plenty of people. I ain't trying to get assassinated, Rosin. I ain't trying to be the New York mayor. I ain't trying to fight rats. I'm just trying to plow streets. And I know that there's people who are going to watch this and, you don't comment. Maybe it's another part of conversation. God, again, you watching my show pretty much. So God bless y'all. Do your own podcast and I'll come watch you. But I can't wait to build this up. Maybe we'll see how the game's going next week. See if we need to do like a little virtual thing or connect somewhere and
If
go on.
if it's a blowout,
If it's a blowout, we'll go on
be
to
all
like
right.
halftime and just, maybe we're like, all right, y'all, we'll see y'all at the studio. This is bad. This is bad. Or we'll be at Jeff's house or something with the incense. And Jeff and Todd jokes.
We'll figure it out.
But love y'all, man. This is great. And listen, think of your questions. I don't mind. I'll say the same thing now to the broader community that I said to our church. And I do believe, and I want to end on this, I tried to be cautious, honorable, gracious, whatever you want to call it, about not talking about this publicly too soon. First of all, my family and my church family take priority in conversations. I'll leave the Malibu parked out front. We'll find a Malibu with no engine and just park it out there.
they already got a Cadillac waiting for them.
On the side, man, please. They got a subway token. They got a bus pass.
They got a big Cadillac Escalade. Wait for my car.
They crack. They be like, you know, your house is right next to the station. I'm like, I ain't going to the station. I'm not going to no subway. They're like, yeah, the station's right around the corner. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Well, there's a station right by the church. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, no, thank you.
Todd gonna be on the subway.
Preaching.
Holding on.
Going live. See, I'm riding here. You can ride here too. No, but I mean, we tried our best. And so that's why I did not say much publicly on Facebook, didn't comment about it. We didn't joke about it. First of all, I love our church. I will not allow them to hear things about me or thoughts that I would not share with them first. And I shared a great deal with them first, teaching through things, our church meeting, our gathering. And so there we can talk a little bit more lightly. And I hope I don't disrespect or discourage anyone. As I said, remember that I'm human too, and their way of processing something like this for someone like me. And I'll say, and I don't mean to belabor it, but I think sometimes people in positions, and you could be massively nationally known, you could be locally known, whatever, is sometimes they don't get this outlet. And that's sometimes what bears down the pressure on them.
Yes.
I don't care if it's that local athlete. I don't care if it's that well-known politician. I don't care if it's that movie star. Once you get into this bubble where you can't be a human anymore and talk, and then everybody's looking at you like, why are they on crack? Or, you know, why are they running down the street naked? How come they're suicidal? It's because we create this world for people in certain positions that you can't be human and talk. And so I'm grateful for us and relationship and the podcast and that in due time and what I feel is wise time. Because I wasn't going to move away and start cracking jokes. Right. You know what I mean? This is like have that conversation with our church family, make those announcements, let the processing happen, have those intimate conversations. Then we can do a little bit more just of this talk, just talking about life, because it is life still.
Absolutely,
you know. And so I appreciate it, and thank you.
So
Sister
if you have your questions, get them together.
Yeah,
get them together. Throw them at us.
And I've said that, you know, I talked on it today. When people bring up stuff, you know, to you from outside, bring up God. I bet you they'll shut up. Mm-hmm. Just start talking about the Lord.
Start talking about the Lord.
Start talking about the Lord. So this is the time where we can kind of have that talk straight from the horse's mouth. Everything else, leave it up to the Lord, being in control. And so love y'all, praying for you. Hope you're praying for me. And I'm not trying to make it all about myself, but I do appreciate the opportunity to be able to, you know, sit down. Maybe we'll bring in a member or two and like chat it up next time and just talk about stuff. But next bat time, next bat channel, you'll see online if we're going to do something during the Super Bowl. But make sure you follow us on all of our platforms. We got 7 years of content. Excuse me. Ooh, I burped. We got 7 years of content for y'all to catch up with, and we are going to keep creating some content. We did a dry run. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to figure out some ways to do some virtual stuff.
Absolutely.
And
RIP is not done.
RIP is not done. We're not saying RIP to RIP.
Right. Go to whoever playing the Patriots. I don't even know who they playing.
Seahawks.
Oh,
yeah, I'm rooting for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I guess so.
I want Marshawn Lynch to get his revenge. They should put him in the game for one play. But yeah, that's it. Big Mike, anything?
Nah, man, I'm good. Till next week.
Peace out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace out.